Hello everyone, Johnny Hurricane here from GamersHeroes.com, and why don't you sit back, relax, and let me tell you about Yakuza Kiwami 2. After the events of the original Yakuza, Kazuma Kiryu has been looking after Haruka after her mother was killed. Since then, he has been of course trying to live as an honest individual, as a civilian. Now we got a second game, so you can go ahead and assume that doesn't go well. Early on, you meet with the 5th chairman of the Tojo clan. For those of you unaware, Kazuma was the 4th, so now he is effectively the successor to Kazuma. There's a war looming and he is not sure what he needs to do, so he comes to Kazuma and asks for his advice. While they're talking, the 5th chairman is actually shot. He doesn't die right away, but he does die from his injuries, and then Kazuma is tossed back into the Tojo clan. He doesn't come back as a chairman, instead he just wishes to prevent the war between the Tojo and the Omi clan. To do this, he believes he has to find Daigo Dojima, who has been missing for some time and has left the Tojo clan a couple of years ago. Kazuma actually believes that Daigo Dojima can be the next chairman of the Tojo clan. First off though, you have to find him, and then you have to convince him. Now, the story might not be riveting for everyone, but that's alright. Story doesn't have to be riveting. Yakuza's never really been about hard focus on the story. It's really more about the side content and the characters. That, plus an insanely fun combat system, makes for a great game. I really thought the last game would be the peak of the madness that they bring to the combat system, but no, they bring it up to 11 here. The combat is that of a brawler. You get into a fight, you smash people up with your fists and your kicks. However, in Yakuza, you can use the environment and weapons to bring it up even further. Bowling balls, bats, guns, bikes, drug syringes, grenades, hot plates, knives, swords, dozens of other weapons are littered around the world for you to terrorize your enemies with. I think it's meant to be implied that Kazuma doesn't kill these thugs that he messes up, but yeah, there's some definite deaths going on. Even while you're just roaming around, random groups of thugs will come up and try and beat you up. They never really stand a chance. Even on normal, you will smash through these enemies. So if you want a real challenge, I do recommend hard. The bosses on normal are still pretty tough, but the normal enemies are not so tough. All in all, you'll probably get around 250 to 300 battles, assuming you're not trying to 100%. If you're trying to 100%, up that number by a couple of hundred. And I know that might sound like a lot, but the combat in this game is actually so good that they blow right by and don't really annoy me that much. Even towards the end of the game, I was finding new weapons and new knockouts that were like, oh wow, that was pretty impressive, or ooh, yikes, wouldn't want that to happen to me. A couple of like, yeah, some of these are pretty brutal. When you're ready to take a break from the fighting, there are tons of mini games to take part in. There's a Sega Arcade, it's got Virtual Fighter 2, Virtual On, there's also the crane games, some darts, and even a pissing game. Karaoke makes a return and you can call your friends to join you. If you want to put yourself through Majima's singing, he can come and join you as well. There's golf, there's baseball, there's underground arena fights. There are a ton of mini games to take part of, and these are just the mini games. These are not the main mini games. The main mini games come in the form of the Clan Creator, which is from Yakuza 6, the Cabaret Club, which is from Yakuza 0, and the new bouncer missions. Now, I don't think that's in a previous Yakuza, I could be wrong, but you get them here as well. Each of these alone will easily put you in another 10 hours. So, the bouncer missions are pretty basic. You take a mission, you get put on a certain part in the world, and you just gotta fight through enemies until you get to the boss and beat the enemy. That's it. Easy. The Cabaret Club is a club, and each night someone comes in, you have to run it, and you have to take care of people's needs with your hostesses. This means you have to recruit hostesses, make sure that they are happy, and level them up as well, and then as you get them happy, you make your customers happy, and they pay you more. This is actually a very good way to make some money. The Clan Creator is the game's way of putting Majima back in. So Majima runs this construction company, and he has rivals that are trying to break his equipment. To prevent this, you have to hire new construction workers and use them to defend the equipment. Majima will help you as well, so you get to use him, which is always nice. This is also a good way to earn some money, but recruiting can get very expensive. I'm just going to say that if you are a completionist, prepare to put in 150 plus hours. Now finally, I want to talk about the side quests. That's separate from everything else. These, for the most part, are pretty good. There are a few where it's just like talk to this guy, beat some thugs up, that's it. But the ones that have actually stories attached to them, yeah, these are awesome. Without spoiling too many of them, there's one where you have to pose for a photo shoot. That's what's being shown right now. And you have to basically pose fiercely, pose as a cute maid, use a sumo pose. It's all pretty hilarious in front of this big bulky dude with a speed up. Another one has you doing tasks for these high-ranking businessmen who, as it turns out, like to be dressed up as babies. I unfortunately didn't get any footage of this, but here's the image, so yeah, that's what you gotta deal with. Now, I don't want to spoil any of the others, but there are plenty more. Generally in my videos, I kind of like to nitpick one or two things that I don't like about the game. There is very little that I don't like. I mentioned earlier that you might get burned out from the amount of combat with just like basic thugs running around the streets. And it does wear on you. As you get to like the 60, 70 hour mark, you know, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna grab a bike and smash these guys before they can do anything. But it does take a minute for it to load, you know, so it just adds up. But even then, I really like the combat system, so I don't really see the problem with it. I still want to mention it because although I don't have a problem with it, it doesn't mean people won't have a problem with it. It does add up. Kiwami 2 adds new features and perfects some of the old ones by making it one of the funnest games on the market today. I'll be honest, if you haven't gotten into the Yakuza series yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. The games have just been getting better and better, and with 0, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2, it is the perfect time to catch up. So hop on board and give Yakuza a try. You won't regret it.